Welcome, rallyists. My name is Patrick Fitzler, and I'm here to talk about the British Motoring Club of Northern Colorado's 27th ever Oil Spot Rally coming up. This year's rally will be a bit different in that we are going to use an actual formally prepared rally roadbook instead of just a sequence of instructions. And I want to talk about what those rally roadbooks look like, what they are, how the navigator and driver can read them and can integrate them into the driving of this rally. But first, excuse me, I want to remind you that this year's 27th ever Oil Spot Rally is going to be held Saturday, October 7. We're starting from Gibbs Bagels parking lot on Harmony. That's where we normally have our Saturday morning cars and coffee thing. Please arrive between 8 and 8:20 a.m. to sign waivers and get some swag and eat bagels. Driver navigator meeting is going to be at 8:30, where you're going to be getting your rally roadbook. You'll be getting a page of instructions. You'll be getting a questionnaire, and you'll be getting an answer sheet. And then finally, first car out at 9 a.m. and every other car after that staged at 30-second intervals. That's the oil spot coming up. Now, the reason this video exists is because I want to talk to you about the software that's being used to create the rally roadbook, what our rally roadbooks look like, and how to read them and essentially have a happy, safe rally where you're not off in the weeds somewhere, hopefully not literally. So with that, let's begin. This is the Rally Navigator software that I've used to actually create the rally roadbook. Got a Google-like maps thing here. You can go in and click on waypoints, and the Rally Navigator software computes the route between those waypoints, computes the distance between those waypoints, can compute the time between those waypoints if you give it a speed. It's really quite sophisticated. That magic all happens over here as the waypoints are selected. And as the waypoint appears in this column right here, the user can augment those waypoints with all sorts of further information to give the rally navigator and driver further information about where the turns are and what else is happening on the route. So I've used Rally Navigator to do this rally roadbook. It prints the rally roadbook in PDF format. In this demo, the rally roadbook that I'm going to be using is available for you in PDF format when you register for the oil rag, or excuse me, for the oil spot rally. There's a series of bullets you can choose. One of those bullets is, please send me a PDF copy of the demo rally roadbook. That demo is what I'm going to be talking about today. You aren't going to get a copy of the actual oil spot rally roadbook until you're there at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday, October 7. But this talks about the demo. So with that, let me talk about the demo route that we're going to do. We're going to start the demo route at the parking lot of the Collindale Golf Course. That's where we have our monthly meeting for the British Motoring Club of Northern Colorado. I'm going to start at that parking lot. We're going to go out and turn right onto Horsetooth. We're going to go down to Ziegler and turn left. That's a roundabout there on Ziegler. We're going to follow Ziegler as it turns using the main road, the rally main road rule, which says don't turn off what you're on unless you have a specific instruction that says turn off. We're going to take a right onto Timberline, go about a mile, take a left onto Prospect, take Prospect until we go, take a right on Prospect. We're going to go until we take a right on County Road 5, take another right on Harmony. We're going to go back to Ziegler, take a right on Ziegler, go the roundabout again, and end back up at the Collindale Golf Course. So that's a sort of loop for a route, 15 miles long, about 25 minutes in length. We can run this as a rally 3 different ways. We can do it as a tour, where you get a rally road book with a number of waypoints, and you just run it. There's no speeds to consider. There's no times to consider. It's just instruction after instruction after instruction after instruction. That's a tour. You can run it as a gimmick rally, where augmented with the rally roadbook is a set of questions. That's the way we've often done it in the past. And as you go along the route, you answer these various questions like, Like, I don't know, in the state of Colorado, are you required to use turn signals when entering a roundabout? You know, questions like that, or questions about red barns and white fields and whatever. So that's a gimmick rally. Or it can be run as a time, speed, distance rally where along with the waypoints, you're given speeds like 40, and you have to follow that speed at you have to do that as an average speed until you get a change of speed or you run out of rally. So for example, if in a time, speed, distance rally, the distance along Horsetooth Road is cast, that is change average speed to, is cast at 40 miles per hour, you're going to want to maintain an average speed of 40 miles an hour through that. So if you come to a stoplight, you have to follow pedestrians or bike or there's traffic or whatever, you'll be able to speed up and slow down as you need to. Usually it's almost always the case that cast speeds are below posted speeds in order to allow you to speed up and slow down as you feel the need to in order to try and maintain exactly 40 miles an hour. So those are the three different styles. The demo rally that we're going to do here, I've done as a time, speed, distance rally. And you'll see the differences there that have been augmented because of that time, speed, distance rally. Here's the front page of the Rally Navigator Roadbook. The title here and stuff, 15 miles, there's the mileage and the number of waypoints that you're going to go, where it starts, where it ends. A disclaimer saying, look, man, this can be dangerous. Do this at your own risk. And then some not important stuff down here. And with that, let's look at the first page of the Rally Roadbook. Now, a little small here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this thing in half. And I'm going to take this upper portion and blow it up and move it over here. And I'm going to take this lower portion, blow it up and move it over here. So I'm just going to stagger them on the page, but just make them a bit bigger so that we can see it. Okay, here's page 1 of our Rally Roadbook. Start up here and the distance here and the distance here, say the date, other stuff. Waypoint 1, that's where we start. So we're in Collindale Golf Course parking lot, and it will be obvious, should be obvious where the starter is going to be. He or she's going to be standing there with a flag or an umbrella or something and actually telling cars to start. You're going to want to queue up. Make sure your odometer is zeroed, assuming, of course, you have a working odometer, which is maybe not the case for many of us with older British cars. When you get to the starter is going to wait 30 seconds between the car in front of you and is going to tell you to start. At that point, the navigator is going to look at the atomic clock right next to the starter, that measuring time, hours, minutes, and seconds. And the navigator is going to write down those hours, minutes, and seconds of the start time in his or her score sheet. That's the time you start. Waypoint 2 is a right-hand turn at the stop sign onto Horsetooth Road, cast 40. So what this means is that from the parking lot where the starter is, you're going to go up, you're going to turn right at the stop sign onto Horsetooth Road, and you're going to start going an average of 40 miles per hour. Now, note this black and white chevron bar here. You'll see this bar between two waypoints that are very close to each other. The chevron bar tells the navigator at a glance that this next instruction is coming up way fast and that the driver will need to be prepared to execute this next waypoint pretty quickly. And it's just from parking lot to Horsetooth. So again, right turn at the stop sign onto Horsetooth Road, cast 40. one thing about these signs, you'll see stop signs, you'll see stop lights and other things. That is not the next one you see. There could be 8 or 10 stop signs or stop lights or whatever. It is not, this does not say turn right at the next stop sign. This says turn right at the stop sign onto Horsetooth Road. So don't make the mistake of just seeing a stop sign or stoplight and turning, just thinking that's the correct one. You got to make sure it's the correct road that you're turning on. That takes us to waypoint 3. We're now going east on Horsetooth, 0.36 of a mile. After we turn here, you'll see these little tick marks here. That's where the mileage and instruction actually occurs at. 0.36 of a mile, you're going to cross a railroad track, which is what the sign indicates. Please use caution. After the railroad track, waypoint 4, you're going to cross Timberline Road at the stoplight, stay on Horsetooth Road. Now, this is not a change in direction or change in road. This is an informational waypoint, and it has a lighthouse. And what this lighthouse signifies is the fact that if you're lost, or if you're a little bit queasy about where you are and you come across a lighthouse instruction, hopefully with a map, this will tell you more or less where you should be in your rally road book. Now here you're not going to be lost at Timberline and Horsetooth, but I wanted to put this in here to give you an indication of what these lighthouse indicators mean. Waypoint 5, here's the roundabout at Ziegler. So the instruction is roundabout at the yield, take the third exit onto Ziegler Road, cast 45. So the driver is coming up to the roundabout, sees the yield. You're going to go to the third exit, and immediately after that, you're going to cast 45 miles an hour. Now again, make sure that you count these exits carefully, because all paved exits are counted no matter where they go. They may differ from the roundabout signage that you see, so don't use roundabout signage. Make sure you actually count exit numbers. So after the roundabout, 1.85 miles after the roundabout, waypoint 6, turn right at the stoplight onto Timberline Road, cast 40. So that is how my navigator would tell me waypoint 6. Turn right at the stoplight at Timberline Road, cast 40. So the navigator is looking for Timberline Road. We're looking for the stoplight. As we get close up here, my navigator will say, here's the stoplight at Timberline, turn right at the stoplight at Timberline, cast 40. So as soon as I am done turning that corner, I am changing my average speed to 40 miles an hour. Now let's see what that looks like on the map. Here's the Collindale parking lot. There we've gone out and gone right with a cast of 40. Here's the railroad tracks. Here's the lighthouse at the Timberline intersection. Here we've gone right at the Ziegler roundabout to cast 45, and here we come up to Timberline, the right at Timberline, and a cast of 40. So here I'm doing an average speed of 45. Here I'm doing an average speed of 40, and down here on Horsetooth I'm doing an average speed of 40. So those are the waypoints that connote what we're doing here on the actual Google map. Okay, second page. Waypoint 7 happens 0.97 miles after waypoint 6. We're going to take a right on a dedicated right turn lane, which is a yield onto Prospect and cast 35. So for the navigator, you'll see that there's a stoplight, but that stoplight is sitting there for traffic going straight. You have a dedicated right-hand turn lane with a yield sign. So the way I would read this is dedicated right-hand turn lane at the yield onto Prospect Road, cast 35. So as the driver, you know that you've got a dedicated right-hand turn lane coming up. You're going to look for the yield. You're going to yield onto Prospect Road, and then you're going to change your average speed to 35. At waypoint 8 then, 0.77 miles after waypoint 7, there's no indicator of what's going on in the tulip diagram. All there is a change average speed to 40. So if you don't have a working odometer, I mean, you could either be going off of the 5 point at mile marker 5.16 according to a calibrated working odometer, or 0.77 miles after this, where you're zeroing the odometer at each waypoint. You change the average speed to 40. Now what's actually happening here is there's a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit sign right here. This on Prospect was 40, then it changes to 45. So that's where that's happening. So then waypoint 9, 2¼ miles past waypoint 8, you got a right-hand turn at the stoplight onto Main Street, also called County Road 5, cast 45. So the driver knows to turn right at that stoplight onto signed Main Street. So the navigator is looking for this street, looking for the stoplight, and making sure that the driver knows to turn right there and to cast 45. So now we're merrily on Main Street headed south. We're going to go to waypoint 10, 3 miles later. We're going to turn right. That's at the stoplight on Harmony Road, that cast 40. Now remember, there could have been 10 or 12 stoplights before we get to this one. It's just that at this right-hand turning on Harmony Road, there will be a stoplight. Nearly 2 miles later on waypoint 11, there's a dedicated right-hand turn lane. So dedicated right-hand turn lane at the yield onto Ziegler Road. Now here there is no change average speed to, so the driver's still maintaining an average speed of 40 miles an hour. And again, the stoplight is just there for the navigator to know that the traffic going straight is going to see a stoplight. So again, this would be called out by the navigator as dedicated right-hand turn at the yield onto Ziegler Road. And then waypoint 12, 0.97 miles later, as we're back onto that roundabout at Ziegler. So this is roundabout at the yield, third exit onto Horsetooth Road. Count the exit numbers again. We're still maintaining 40 miles an hour as an average speed. And here's where we are on the map. We turned right onto Prospect at that dedicated turn lane with a cast of 35. Here's where the cast of 40 happened. We turned right onto County Road 5 with a cast of 45. We came down here, turned right onto Harmony, cast of 40. Come down to Ziegler again, turned right, still at 40. And then we turned right at the, turned left at the roundabout, the third exit. So that's the Google Maps version of what we just looked at. And then finally, we end up 1.26 miles later at waypoint 13. We go back across the railroad tracks. We come to the Collindale Golf Course for waypoint 14, 0.36 miles later. It says Collindale Golf Course parking lot, left turn. So we read this as left turn into Collindale Golf parking lot. The navigator will see that here's this black and white chevron, which means that the next instruction is extremely close. It is the finish line, which will be obvious because there'll be a finish person there along with an atomic clock measuring in hours, minutes, and seconds. Do not stop. You are going to want to go by there, and the navigator is going to want to record the time in hours, minutes, and seconds that you cross that finish line. Now, you may want to slow down, but what I don't want to have happen is I don't want you to stop there and interfere if there's a car right behind you. to get like 12 cars backed up, all waiting while people are spending minutes of time at the finish. So get there. Don't stop. You may slow down to make sure that the navigator can record the in time on your answer worksheet. Then you'll compute the total number of seconds you took. In Rally Navigator software, that exact time to compute that is 24 minutes and 28 seconds. So converting that to seconds, your score would be based on the number of seconds over and under the Rally Navigator score here. 15 waypoints, start, exit, done. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can contact me directly at patrick@engr.colostate.edu. Call me at 970-481-5334, or just catch me at any of the BMCNC events. I hope to see you on the morning of October 7th, and I hope that you win one of the many trophies that we're going to be handing out. And with that, thank you for watching this presentation.